Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Indiana State Prison. To accept this call, press 0. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Understand?
Hi, so we are back.
Hello.
Hi, okay,
Yes,
great.
sir.
Wonderful. I already thought you might be not able to call back, but that's fantastic. Okay. So, Ariel, shall we go through some of the comments?
Yes,
What do you think? Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, let's see. There is one I like a lot. It's from Tracy Mitchell 9114, and she writes, I have followed this story for years. Since Trevor Donald, I've spent years wondering how he is. I'm so happy that his mother is still with us. And I wrote to the White House when Donald Trump was pardoning. So I also wrote around Mar-a-Lago June of this year, not realizing Ronald has been given a release date May. I'm over the moon. This man will be given a second chance in his life. I never forgot him. I have never written to him until 2 days ago. I just wanted to let him know how happy I am that this has finally happened. It's brilliant. So this is, for example, one very nice comment.
That's good.
Yeah.
That makes me emotional. Just to think someone go out of their way to make me a part of their life, or take time to make me a part of their life. And it shows the level of humanity that one has. And as I said, how one is viscerally affected by something to move to go to that extent, not just to write the White House, but to write to his private residence, and to seek concern and compassion for my well-being. And as he said, she followed the story for a number of years. For some people in prison to have someone who cares about them, to think about them, to help them out in any fashion, man, means the world. They put up walls around prisons to cut off the connections from those that are inside from those that are outside, and it has it does exactly what it's supposed to do, and it diminishes the humanity of those inside of the prison because they're not able to connect with those in society who they have done sociable things with all of their lives, and now they're doing different types of, I don't even want to say they're sociable activities with people in prison who are considered to be the most recalcitrant elements of society. And it becomes groupthink, and men's thinking oftentimes becomes depraved when they're in desperate situations. So, to have someone think about you in a way that they don't see you as being depraved, deranged, or not worth returning to society. It means a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. It's that thing of taking really care, not just be happy or so, but just really doing something. I think that's so important that we do something, even if it's a small effort, even if it's a small thing with a small chance. But it's so much better to act and like our how would you say, beliefs are, Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you said while in prison it's important to do something?
No, I think also for the people outside, for every human being, just to be active, just not only to have good thoughts, but to have also good acts,
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. It doesn't matter where you are. As human beings, it's necessary that we are active. I was telling the guys just the other day that there's no such thing as being stagnant. Either you're moving forward or you're either progressing or you're digressing. To stay stagnant is to die, essentially. Water, if it's standing still, becomes rancid. It's no good. The human body never is still until it is morbid. When it stops moving, it dies. So it's necessary for us to continue the movement process. The more we physically stop ambulating our bodies from movement, our body literally stops to move on us. Our blood is the last thing that stops moving through us. Our joints usually go first, or I take that back. Our enthusiasm usually goes first, then our joints go, and then our bloods go. stop moving. So to the extent that we go through that process, if we can keep active, for the most part, we can keep our blood moving. So yeah, it's vitally important for people, certainly in prison, to continue to move, to be active, to do something that's edifying, that's worth doing, to keep themselves healthy, both on the physical and the mental level and spiritual. So yes, it's vitally important.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So another content is from Deb Charles 4674. Not long now, Ronald. You're now in our prayers and thoughts. I'm also fellowship and I worked 12 steps on daily basis. Just know you have so much support behind you. Dr. Schimmert, you are a kind soul and all for all the support you've shown Ronald. I sent Ronald's mother a message on Instagram looking for information on where to write to Ronald, but I didn't receive a message back. I'm from London, UK. Please, thanks for all you do. So that's a question that came more often. So like how to write you or so. I don't know what you want to answer. I think the easiest way, if somebody wants to write you, just research the internet, because it's possible to research and find out how to write you, right?
How about I give the address right now?
Yeah, okay. Why not?
Well, if someone wants to write me, they write to 1 Park Row, ROW, Michigan City, Indiana, 46360. And of course, they use my name, Ronald Sanford, 875353. Put it in the mail, and it'll reach me. They may want to put Indiana State Prison on there. If the address is wrong in some way, they know where the prison is at. It's nothing else in the city. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. So simple is it? Maybe to make clear, this number you mentioned is important. I think it's like a number that is connected to you, so
yes,
that
sir.
they. Yeah. Okay. So people know it now. If you didn't get it, just rewind. You can rewind as often as you like on YouTube. So we'll get the address. Very good. Thank you. And so this is a person who also works on this 12 steps on daily basis. So that's also nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's absolutely necessary for those of us who are recovering addicts or who are working with recovering addicts, or those who want to be in recovery, to work the steps. That's almost the theology of NA, the steps. It begins the transformation process, the spiritual awakening process that the NA steps are trying to help evoke in people, so that they're not working from their worldly self, they're working from their spiritual self or their higher power or the God of their understanding. And in working those steps, it brings about a self-examination, whereas one eventually has been outwardly focused, one needs to be inwardly focused and see what is the underlying cause that has been indicative of the behavior that has induced the behavior. And in reaching that point, one is able to deal with it and yes, rid themselves of some of the closed-mindedness that has led us into acting the way that we act. So the steps are, it's a ABC plan to the road of recovery.
Okay. Yeah, very good. And maybe there's another question that's interesting from Mary Patrick 5877. She writes, "Hello, Dr. Constantine. Was Ronald Sanford under the influence of drugs before? That's why he's now writing a book about addiction. Please, will appreciate for your answer." So, do you want to talk about that?
Should we? I can. I don't mind.
Okay.
Yes. So when I was first interviewed by by Trevor McDonald in 2012, I was not involved in drug use. In fact, the only drug I ever used was marijuana up until that point. When I was interviewed by Trevor McDonald that year, I was actually in D.C. House. I was in the seclusion unit. I was in administrative segregation when I was interviewed. 8 months later, I was allowed out of administrative segregation. It had an effect on me psychologically. One that I think was more so than all the time that I'd been in the prison. I'd never been secluded in that manner. All the time I'd been in prison, always been out in general population. Nevertheless, upon coming out, I got introduced to what was called spice, K2, synthetic marijuana, and I began to use it on a regular basis. And for the next 10 years almost, I used synthetic marijuana, and it had an effect on my social relationships. It had an effect on my health, and it had an effect on my mind and the way I saw things. When I came into prison, I would say that I was sort of ascending, and then I began to descend by engaging in that particular substance use. However, as of almost 2 years ago, I'm substance free. I've not used it all.
Yeah.
And man, I'm in a total different space now. And to be free, clear-minded of the substance use that I was engaging in, man, I can't tell you how grateful I am. And it's because of the steps that I've taken. We talked about the 12 steps. I work the 12 steps.
Yeah.
I help other people. I go to meetings on a regular basis. I'm actually a mentor. I'm a certified peer recovery coach now. And I'm able to look at my life and see the things that the underlying reasons what led me to, to involve myself in greater substance use. As I said, I used marijuana previously, but I wasn't into something that, and I don't really want to minimize marijuana, but I wasn't into something as life-threatening as spice before I went to administrative segregation. But yeah, it affected me, and it affected my thinking, and made me aggressive and really just angry, and made me want to isolate myself. But I always knew that I needed to not use the substance because it was going to harm my health. I just needed to get to the point where I could stop. I wanted to stop, I just couldn't. But thankfully, I made the decision in my mind that I was going to stop, and I took the steps to do so with the help of the program called RWI within the facility called Recovery While Incarcerated. And it helped me go to intensive outpatient, which is basically like a detox almost. You go to a unit, they put you up there, you stay up there until they see it's sufficient for you to come down, and you're adequately, you're no longer on drugs, you're clear-minded, and then you come to a unit such that I'm living in now, which is the ROC, the ROC, the Recovery-Orientated Community. And you're around people who are like-minded, who are involved or attempting to recover themselves, and you participate in programs. You have NA every day. You go to various elective groups that teach you about your criminally addicted behavior, and you really examine yourself. And you have access to sponsors, you have access to the addiction recovery specialists, and so on and so forth. And if it's in your mind to recover, they offer the tools and the skills to do so. And man, I've taken full advantage of them, and I wouldn't gloat or even say that I'm proud, but I am humbled. I am grateful, nonetheless.
Okay. Thank you very much for this explanation. So I think it's very interesting that you, I mean, compared, I think I understand that you don't want to diminish marijuana abuse, drug abuse, but compared to other substances that are out there, it's quite still quite a mild substance, and I think it speaks about you that you even with this experiences you feel how wrong it was for you, and you started really doing the steps and started really working on it. And
yes, sir. Certainly.
Yeah. And I think the other side is, I guess that you experience in other people you meet in the prison. I think you experience drug abuse, and I think it's just also your compassion that you want to help other people, right?
Yes, and I know what I've been given, and the literature tells us that we can't keep what we have except by giving it away. And it is part of the ritual recovery by serving others, doing service work for other people. It gets you out of what they call the narcissistic encapsulation bubble, that is the recovery neophyte. the newly person who is beginning to recover is encapsulated in a selfish bubble, like it's all about me. That bubble needs to be pierced so that some new thinking can come in and old thinking can go out.
Yeah. Okay. Now I remember we talked also about these are the later steps, right, of the 12, where you start helping others. It's very important. I agree with you.
Yes.
It's all
absolutely. It's vitally important.
Yeah. It's also my experience with all with the whole spiritual journey. I'm now like 35 years into daily meditation and so on. And I mentioned already before that I see now the older I become, the more it is not anymore about me. You know, it's about us. It's about the others. That's the real spiritual journey. Yeah.
That has moved me in my evolution of myself more than anything, my spiritual journey. And involved in my substance use, it diminished my ability to be able to evolve. It diminished my ability to be able to study, to seek out information. Because when you sleep or you're inebriated, you can't focus and you don't want to read. It steals your enthusiasm, it steals your motivation. You become apathetic in a lot of respects. So that is another reason why I feel like I have to stop this. So I feel like I wasn't growing. And they say when you get on drugs, you stop growing emotionally. You hit a plateau essentially because your brain ceases to be able to grow. So yeah, I was like, I'm not going anywhere, and I need to get in touch with my spirit, or I need to continue to evolve spiritually, and this is hindering that ability. So yes, to be able to, just get off of drugs, man. To be sober, to be in recovery. It's oh my goodness, it's wonderful.
And
in fact, they say that substance use is a self-imposed prison.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I'm in a prison in another prison.
Wow. Okay, and that's also one of my thoughts. I think so many people who live a life outside, they are somehow in a prison, in a mental prison.
Yes.
In a prison of their thoughts, or of their negative emotions, of their belief systems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And having that perspective, being in prison and thinking it's the worst thing in the world, and seeing other people succumb to substance use or having mental health issues in the world, where we think being released from prison is a cure-all to everything. It's like, no, you need to really analyze this. There's people in the world who are suffering, who are going through certain issues different than ours. And I always say the air is different in prison than it is on the outside. Use it as an acronym. I say that the air, the anger, the irritation, and the rage that charges people up in society is not the same anger, irritation, and rage that charges us up in prison. But they and we suffer from it nevertheless. It's just surrounding different issues, that's all.
Okay. All right. I will read another comment. It's from. I can't. It's like IAADOTLK1. So not really a name. And
that person. Okay.
But it's a person, obviously.
Wow.
And so I'm so happy for Mr. Sanford. I know for a fact that he will have a very successful and very bright future. I believe that he will be a tremendous role model for our upcoming youths. Great job, Mr. Sanford, and congratulations.
And wow, that makes me emotional, man. It makes me almost brings tears to my eyes, because to hear that, it's what I think. You know, I hear so many guys get out of prison. They say it's hard in the world, and you have to do this, not to come back to prison, and or that they're scared to get out. And I'm like, I'm eager to get out. I'm anticipating. I can't wait, and I know that life is hard, and I'm not thinking about coming back to prison. I'm thinking about staying in society. So my perspective is different, but they involve the same thing, and the ability to be able to help others, to be of some import to others around issues that they're struggling with, man, just gladdens my heart. And I can't wait. And I know that I will be instrumental in helping somebody, and that there will be people who will allow me and want me to help. And I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be wonderful. It's it's going to be something to look forward to. Waking up every day, knowing that I'm not going to do something for myself. I'm going to do something that's going to be effectual for someone else.
Mm-hmm. Okay, beautiful. So let me see, what else do we have? There was another one. It's just very nice from Merrick Patrick 5877. He speaks very well, intelligence. I'm glad to hear from him. Was waiting to hear what's going on with him, so I'm glad to hear this interview. So that's like just, and I hear this very often, that people say, "Oh, what a smart man!" Another one here, Ronald is a very smart man. So yeah, and this is what I can. I have the same opinion. You're really a very, very smart and intelligent man, and it's fantastic to listen to you.
Well, I've been given a lot. I've had a lot of help since I've been in this prison. There were some men who touched me. I never had a father figure in my life while I was on the street, but I had a lot of them when I came to prison. Being such a youth, and these older men seeing the desperate situation that I was in, and some of the things that I would need potentially, and aiming to help that situation out. So they basically told me, mind your business, work on your case, and get as much education as you can, and everything else will work out. And I attempted to do all those things.
Yeah.
Here I am now.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it would be once nice to somehow give credits to these people. Maybe once we can do, or maybe you write it down, or we can talk about really these persons and give a little more credit to them. Tell me.
I have a thank you list that I would someday like to write down, publish, or create as a page, as a whole bunch of names, just paste it as a page. And I want to thank all these people and put it up like it's credit to the book,
Yeah.
But yes, there's a number of people, and I have a few journals that I have, and I have some things recorded. But as we always say, these things come to pass, and proper homage and thanks will be paid to those who have been instrumental in my life. Guaranteed.
Guarantee. Yeah. Very good. And what's also interesting here is that I think people outside, they have a picture of inmates like they're all bad people or something like that, And now you have this story.
Well, all I got is one eye. People haven't seen me yet, I don't think. Have they seen me? I only have one eye instead of my forehead, so it might be true.
Yeah, but and now you have this story. You are the testimony. You have the story. You're a boy of 14 years or 15 when you finally came into this place. You're a small guy, and full of fear, full of anxiety, absolutely lost. No parents, nothing. Just now in this place, But there are not only bad people there. There are good people also. And whatever they did mistakes, they did wrong things, sure, yeah. But it's not what defines you completely. You're still a human being, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All the bad people are not in prison, and all the good people are not in society.
Yeah.
I've come to find that out. There was some incredibly lucid, thought-provoking, caring, compassionate people in prison. I try to associate with the people, and I've come in contact with more of those people than the opposite, contrary to popular belief or the stereotypical opinion what one would have of prisoners. We're not defined by the worst things we've done in our lives, and oftentimes you'll find that once men come to prison, they will give a leg or arm or an appendage of something to take back what they have done. However, to be able to make that amends is not often available to them, and they are suffering the fate of which the court has sentenced them to. So, it's prison is a stereotypical place, and short of going there, knowing people who have been there, or having some experience of it, we would only know the images and things that we hear about. So,
And
good work is being done in prison. Absolutely.
Yeah, and this is what is so important for me is that to really understand we are all human beings, yeah, and
Yes.
even if you did,
You are me, and I am you.
yeah, you are me and I'm you, exactly, yeah, and
When we
even
can begin to see other people as ourselves, then we become more compassionate, and then we have more empathy, and we can see our perspective change. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, sorry, all good. And this is what I think it's a mistake that we take, at least in certain countries, we take the human dignity away of people who goes into prison. And I think that's a mistake, because the dignity has to remain always.
Yes. I think Nelson Mandela said that we have to consider that prisons are also still a part of our society, and that they are deserving of the dignity that is given to the broader humanity. And also that if we want to tell the state of our society, we look at our prisons. And if we would discount the people who are in prison who were once in our societies, who we have been banished to these places, but ultimately, most of them are going to come back to our society. How do we treat them, and how do we look at them and deal with them while they're gone?
Yeah.
So it's necessary that we continue to treat them as human beings, and that they will one day be back in our societies. And who do you want living next door to you as your neighbor?
Yeah, I agree. All right, let me see whether I find another one. I mean, we can repeat this later on another occasion. I think it's maybe nice for the listeners to, from time to time, have a session to just go through all these comments. There are many comments. I can't read them all. Maybe some positive ones also again. So I think there are countless comments on just they pray for you, they hope, they are happy for you. It comes very often. They wish you good luck. So it's really, really very positive.
I would even encourage you to get one that's not so glowing, or one that's disparaging, and see how we deal with that one.
Okay.
Because it's somebody's opinion.
Yeah. But I tell you, it's not so easy to find one. I just went through the comments from our talks. I can go through comments. Maybe then the next time from the episodes where I just was reading letters from us. There were some negative, and I think one of the, let's say, the biggest concern is the concern that somebody gets out of prison and would do again bad things, would harm again other people. I think this is the one big concern that comes from time to time. Something like that comes. Yeah.
People don't understand. You would have to be a psychopath or just an aberrant criminal to re-engage in the behavior that sent you to a place like this. Most people who get out want to remain out. Economics generally bring people back to prison. Poverty breeds crime. But one who would ask, would you kill again? It's such a callous mind state or position, or to think that one would engage in such a behavior and think that they would do it again. I'm not a career criminal. Have I thought about having a career in criminality? This is the first time I've been.
You have 1 minute remaining.
We're going to have to discontinue this count time. I must go.
Sure.
I will call you back.
Okay, but let's take this the next time, okay? But I think it's an important one, and I would be very happy to understand your thoughts. You had once, we were reading about that, we were writing about that once, and it was very impressive what you told me about that. But let's take it again. Okay, so Ariel, I wish you all the best, and I'm looking forward to our next call.
Likewise, I can't wait.
Okay, have a good time. Bye-bye.
Be well, and I will talk to you again soon.
Be well. Bye. So, thank you for listening and take care.